Someone tells you they're happy to help. Their words sound perfect, polite, warm, exactly what you wanted to hear. But something in you hesitates. You can't explain it, but you don't quite believe them. Then, seconds later, they smile, and something in your chest relaxes. You believe them now, not because of what they said, because of what their face just did. This isn't random. It's not something you were taught. It's a system running underneath your conscious mind, one that decides who to trust in a fraction of a second, often before you've even processed a single word. And it's older and more powerful than language itself. Here's the first piece of the puzzle. In the late 1800s, a French neurologist named Guillaume Duchenne was studying facial muscles using electrical stimulation. He discovered something strange. He could make a person's mouth curl into a smile just by stimulating the right muscle. But no matter how precisely he triggered it, something was missing. The eyes stayed flat, lifeless. And when he showed people photographs of these artificial smiles, they described the person as fake, cold, untrustworthy, even though the mouth looked exactly like a real smile. Duchenne found that a genuine smile requires a second muscle, one that most people can't move on command, wrapped around the eyes. It's called the orbicularis oculi. This muscle is what creates the small creases at the corners of your eyes. You can't fake it easily. Try smiling right now without using your eyes at all. It feels wrong, doesn't it? Your face knows the difference even if your mind doesn't. This distinction matters more than you'd think. Researchers now call a real smile, one that engages the eyes, a Duchenne smile, named after the man who first identified it. And here's the key part. Your brain has been trained over millions of years to detect the difference between a Duchenne smile and a fake one, almost instantly, without you consciously trying. So why would evolution build something this specific? Think about what a real smile actually reveals. It's involuntary. It's difficult to control, which means it's difficult to lie with. In a world where your ancestors had to decide in seconds whether the stranger walking toward them meant harm or friendship, a signal that was hard to fake would have been incredibly valuable. Words can be rehearsed. A genuine, eye-crinkling smile is much harder to plan in advance. But the story goes even deeper than smiling. Psychologist Alexander Todorov at Princeton University ran a series of studies asking a simple question. How long does it take a person to judge whether a stranger's face looks trustworthy? His research found that people form trust judgments from a face in about 1/10 of a second. 1/10. That's faster than you can consciously read a single word. Before your brain has processed anything the person says, it has already made a snap judgment based purely on their face. What's even stranger is that giving people more time to look at a face didn't significantly change their first impression. The judgment made in that first flash tends to stick. Todorov's work suggests that this isn't a careful, rational process at all. It's something closer to an ancient reflex, firing before your slower, more logical brain even gets a chance to weigh in. Now here's where it gets even more interesting. Your face isn't reacting to words when it makes these judgments. It's reacting to structure and movement, particularly around the eyes and mouth. And the most reliable movement your brain looks for is that same eye-engaging smile Duchenne identified over a century ago. It's one of the strongest, most consistent trust signals your brain has ever found, and it evolved long before humans had complex spoken language at all. This actually makes sense when you consider the order events happened in human evolution. Facial expressions are ancient. Chimpanzees, dogs, and even some birds display recognizable expressions that communicate emotional states. Spoken language, by comparison, is remarkably young. It's a relatively recent addition layered on top of a communication system that had already been running successfully for millions of years. Your brain didn't replace the old system when language arrived. It kept both running side by side, and in moments of uncertainty, the older system often wins. This is why a warm, confident sentence can still leave you feeling uneasy if the person's face doesn't match it. Your brain is comparing two channels of information at once, the words and the face, and when they conflict, it tends to trust the one that's harder to fake. Psychologists call this facial cues carrying more weight than verbal content when the two contradict each other, and it happens automatically, without your permission. There's a practical reason this matters far beyond curiosity. Understanding this system explains a lot of confusing social moments. Why a salesperson's forced smile can make you feel more suspicious rather than reassured. Why a stranger's warm, genuine grin at a bus stop can instantly make you feel safer, even if you never speak to them. Why some public figures are described as instantly likable, while others, saying nearly identical words, are described as untrustworthy, without anyone being able to explain exactly why. It also explains something about connection itself. When two people share a genuine smile, both of their brains are running this ancient trust detection system simultaneously, each reading the other's face for a signal neither can fully fake. In that split second, more information passes between two people than an entire sentence could carry. That's not poetry. That's what researchers studying nonverbal communication have found, again and again, across different cultures and different languages, that facial expressions are read the same way. everywhere. So the next time you meet someone new, watch what happens before you even notice you're doing it. Your eyes will move straight to their face, not their hands, not their posture. Their face, and specifically, their eyes. You're running a program that existed long before your ancestors had a single word to describe trust, and it's still deciding who gets close to you today, faster than thought, faster than language, in the space of a single glance. That's the real reason a smile can convince you when words can't. Long before humans learned to speak, we had already learned how to read each other's faces, and some part of you, quietly, is still doing exactly that every single time you meet someone new.